Hello, lovelies. This is 5 Minute Manifesting, and I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thrilled that you're here, and today I'm going to talk to you about techniques. Now, I know that there's a lot of talk in the manifesting community about techniques aren't necessary, and that's true. Techniques aren't necessary, but I think as someone who's learning how to manifest, they can be very helpful as tools, as kind of like handrails in your manifesting process to get you where you need to go. And so we talked a little bit yesterday about how manifesting is really your focus. It's what's happening in your internal world, and that's what manifests. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're doing that intentionally or unintentionally. You're manifesting all the time anyway. But conscious, deliberate creation, conscious, deliberate manifesting is where you're choosing on purpose to put the focus of your internal world in a specific place so that you can get a reflection in your external world, in your 3D reality of what you want, of exactly what you want. And techniques are just a way to do that, or just a tool that you can use to focus your attention, your awareness. And so I'm just going to briefly go over some different techniques. This is just kind of a high-level look. And what I want you to do, and if you've listened to manifesting content for any length of time, all of this is going to be very familiar to you. And so even though it might be very familiar to you, I want you to kind of listen with some fresh ears and really think to yourself, what kind of manifester am I? What kind of focuser am I? And yeah, let's get into it. So the first technique I want to talk about is visualizing. So visualizing is a technique. I think Neville Goddard talks about it often. It's also just widely popular, even outside of manifesting, in sports, in just rehearsing anything. Visualizing itself as a tool is something that's really useful and something that a lot of people know about. And what it is just in your imagination, where, and Neville Goddard says imagination creates reality. In your imagination, you're going to practice doing something, that maybe you've done in 3D reality, or maybe you haven't done in 3D reality. Maybe that's a conversation with someone. Maybe it's practicing the piano and being brilliant at it. Maybe it's looking at visualizing yourself looking at your bank account and seeing $1 million in your savings account or in your investment account. So visualizing is just having pictures in your imagination where you practice the thing that you want, where you practice the outcome that you want, where you practice exactly what you want. Your manifestation, a visualization is just a picture or a short little scene of what that is. So when I was manifesting my specific person, a scene that I used to practice was us being in a kitchen, just kind of me making a plate for her. So I would just make a plate and hand it over. And that's a scene that I've used, and it's something that's manifest in my 3D reality. So the next technique I want to talk about briefly is affirmations. Affirmations are a short sentence, a thought that sort of encapsulates what you want or who you are, or an identity statement. So like, I am loved is an affirmation. My specific person loves me is an affirmation. Money comes to me quickly and easily is an affirmation. So it's just a short sentence or statement that encapsulates exactly what you want. And you can repeat that over and over again. You can say a bunch of different affirmations that are, they're different but mean the same thing. And that's what affirmations are. And so affirming or using affirmations is really where you use these sentences and you use them repetitively. So you say them over and over again, and you can say them with a feeling where you're really also kind of combining it with visualizing and sort of having an image of what that means in your mind. Or you can do it kind of robotically, or, just kind of mindlessly, where you're just saying the sentence and you're saturating your subconscious mind with what that sentence means. You're just saying, I am loved over and over again, or whatever your affirmation is. And that's affirmations. The next technique I want to talk about is inner conversations. inner conversations is kind of similar to visualizing, but it's where you're having a conversation with another person. And that conversation, the content of that conversation is the conversation that you want to have with them in the 3D reality. So if you're manifesting a specific person and you want to hear them tell you that they are in love with you and they want to spend the rest of their life with you, then you just call that up in your imagination. You call them up in your imagination, and you hear them say to you those words that you want to hear. And sometimes you can use this, like say you're in a fight with someone and you want to hear them apologize or whatever you want to hear them say that would make you feel better. You hear them say that to you. You can also use it the reverse way. If there's something that you want to say to somebody, you can have an inner conversation where you're telling them the things that you want to say to them. So that's inner conversations. It's pretty simple. Like I said earlier, this is just high level, just kind of intro stuff. If you've listened to the podcast, you've heard about these things before, but it's the first of the year and I just felt it was time to kind of get back to basics and touch base with some techniques. So the next one I want to talk about is scripting. Scripting is where you're writing your new story, the story of exactly what you want, or maybe even your affirmations. You can do either way. And you're writing it physically down, either in a notebook with a pen or pencil, or you're, typing it on your computer or on your phone or whatever you have available to you. So it's just writing down the new story. And this can be like a technique for people who just really enjoy writing, just the physical act of writing. They really enjoy it. And so they choose this technique. Also, you can use this kind of technique in making a list. There's been often in my life, I've made a list of just desires, just things that I wanted. And used to in my planner, I used to keep a current desire list. And almost always, all of those things that I write down on that list come true. So scripting is another technique. And so those are the basic techniques I wanted to cover today. And I really want you to think about, now, like I said, if you're consuming a lot of manifesting content, this could seem really, really basic, really, really simple. But I really want you to think about, what technique do you turn to? What are you doing? How are you applying manifesting in your life? Now, it doesn't have to be one of these techniques. There are other ways to focus your attention. These are just some kind of general basic ones I wanted to share today. But like if you're not doing something, if you're not focusing your attention, I want you to choose one of these that resonates with you, that you think, I could do that. I could do that for 5 minutes a day. I could do that for 5 minutes a day, 3 times a day, in the morning and noon and the evening. And I want you to commit to yourself to just spending those 5 minutes or those 15 minutes, like I said, 5 minutes, 3 different times a day, focusing on what you want. And in 2025, I want you to manifest exactly what you want. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.